Chapter 1. I Do. Here comes the bride, 60 inches wide. Ally, you bloody heifer, why did you eat so much at Christmas? I silently fumed. My embonpoint was bursting out of my prom-style bridesmaid's dress, causing mild upper thorax asphyxiation and creating a fleshy shelf upon which I could probably rest a round of drinks. An irksome label was irritating my back. It hadn't been there when I tried the dress on in Coast months ago. I was like a dog chasing its tail, unable to reach the label without shedding the entire outfit. I couldn't face wrestling my boobs back into the dress, so I left it as it was. Jacqui, in a better-fitting version of my dress, her hair a stunning blonde far aforeset bouffant, zipped a jittery Amanda into her striking grey chiffon ball gown. 5 minutes, girls, I warned Amanda's daughters, Ida and Meg. They nodded, dressed in their identical dusky pink John Lewis bridesmaids' dresses, delicate, fresh gypsophila flower crowns adorning both their heads like angelic halos. Sonny, Amanda's little boy, was the ring-bearer, waiting with Chris at the town hall in a mini-me dark grey suit. A picture-perfect, box-fresh family. Amanda's dad, suited and booted, sat on the overstuffed blue velvet armchair by the door, looking like he was recounting his speech in his head. I felt a sharp pain below my ribs. Dad was never going to make a speech or walk me down the aisle in the vintage cream lace dress I'd always imagined myself in, even if I actually got that far. My latest boyfriend, Ifan, had spouted all sorts of romantic shit when we'd met a year ago in Kebab and Stab after Jacqui's leaving drinks. He'd recited Dylan Thomas to me in bed and said he couldn't wait for me to have his babies. But as soon as he moved in, 3 months later, real life tightened the drawstring on the blissful honeymoon period. "He's so handsome," Jacqui had swooned after I'd sent her a picture. "You finally got the rock star boy you always wanted." Ifan worked in an achingly trendy men's clothes shop in Covent Garden and had aspirations of becoming a model after posing for a few moody Instagram photo shoots for the store. He was certainly pretty enough and young enough, 8 years my junior at 33, and an improvement on all the hideous men I'd encountered in my recent dating past. We had spent the first week together tucked up in bed, incessantly shagging. He was a veritable Clint Eastwood, until I was struck down with killer cystitis, weeing razor blades every time I went to the loo. I had to sneak him out under cover of darkness before my 5-year-old daughter, Grace, surfaced. She slept in my bed, so Ifan and I had appropriated the spare room as our shagging palace, a broom cupboard with a narrow single bed, armed with a sagging mattress rammed against one wall like a coffin awaiting a corpse. I had earmarked it for Grace when we moved in, but the damp was now so tenacious that her clothes in the wardrobe had started growing mould on them, and I couldn't afford anywhere else, even with housing benefit. I wanted to be near my friends, Amanda and Ursula, but flats in East Dulwich were so out of my league. The housing situation hadn't always been this dire. A few years ago I'd had it all. The roomy Victorian semi near Amanda with the ubiquitous stripped wooden floors and a freestanding habitat kitchen, something of great beauty in the noughties. Added to that, I'd had a mad chocolate Labrador called Max, a stepdaughter, and a fiancé who also happened to be my agent. I kept having to pinch myself when I finally fell pregnant. All my life goals were real and happening in vivid technicolor. Until my now ex-fiancé, Jim, had left me holding a newborn baby and sold our perfect house from under my feet to move in with Hattie, now his wife. Completely heartbroken and homeless with baby Grace, I'd ended up moving in with Amanda for a few years, while Grace metamorphosed from a baby into a strong-willed toddler. During our time in the house we affectionately called the Single Mum's Mansion, we became a patchwork family, along with Jacqui, another single mum. We spent Christmases together, hosted crazy parties, snogged unreliable men, and helped each other through such an emotionally corrosive time that we formed an unbreakable bond. These women were like my family. On the other hand, it gradually dawned on me that living in Amanda's attic with Grace, as if we were a couple of students, wasn't conducive to finding a much-wanted long-term partner. Grace